And we are live. Welcome once again to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.,
Good morning.
and it's another beautiful Saturday morning. Sun is out, it's warm, but it's not too hot actually. It's starting to level off a little bit, so it's pretty nice outside. And went to the beach this morning, rode my bike, and it was great. The weather was pretty near perfect, so I'm thankful. And like they say, any day above ground is a good day, so I'm thankful for today. It is truly a good day. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate your time and attention. And yeah, we got a few things we're going to talk about. We're going to look at some more movie trailers, and we're going to talk about some interesting concepts today. And it's going to be kind of fun. But we're going to start it off with we're going to watch the Glass Worker, right? Um, Trailer. So let me go ahead and share it.
Oh yeah. So for context, The Glassworker, it's an animated movie done by Pakistani animation studio. It's a war. It's a war drama. It's a romance drama, and I believe it's Pakistan's first hand-drawn animated feature film.
Really? Oh, when did this come out?
It came out in 2024.
Okay, because
Uh,
I think there's something that came before this from Pakistan, but yeah, that's interesting.
it came out last year, so
Yeah,
let's. I've seen trailers for it in the past, but I think it's going to be released in America for the first time this year. So let's see what that
maybe
looks like.
that's it. Because I know
Yep.
I've heard about an animated production. I haven't seen this trailer, so I'm not sure if it's the same thing or if it's something different.
Oh,
So
well, let's find out.
let's check it out.
I'll never forget my first day in waterfront town when I first came upon the glassworks. Some may call it destiny.
How can glasses and bottles be made from this?
One day, I'll make you something really, really good, I promise.
I'm going to be a great violinist.
Who invited you to the recital?
Elisa Marno, the Colonel's daughter.
How can someone like him be invited anyway? Him and his cowardly father.
These people and their war, they all look down on us.
Their parents should know better.
My father is a brave man. I would do anything to make him happy.
You'll be an army wife, just like your mother.
I'm not going to marry anyone.
Let me speak to Elise.
What can you be thinking, son? Her father would shut us down. That's what the military do.
I've lost her because of this war.
Papa, please don't go.
Be my brave girl now.
I miss you, Vincent. Without art and music, what do we have in this world full of conflict and war?
Beautiful. It's already out, so um, I wonder if it was probably a limited theater run. You know.
It's a good question. Because I never saw it in, in
Yeah,
anything.
but I recognize it. That's what I was saying. I think this came out years ago as an indie film, and now
Yeah,
it's made its way to the mainstream, to an actual theatrical release. That's
yeah,
what.
it came out in July of 2024.
But I mean, I believe I remember hearing
Or
about
in
this years before that. That's what I'm saying. Because a
oh
lot of
yeah.
these indie films, what happens is they get made, right?
Hmm.
They scrape the front, especially animation, right? And then they shop it around through the festivals, right? And they just keep shopping it around, and a lot of times that could take years.
Mm,
So if you've heard about it in 2024, that's where it finally got a probably a global release, an actual
gotcha.
theatrical release versus just indie film festivals and smaller venues, right?
Right.
So, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I've seen this trailer or at least a version of it before. It looked very familiar once I started watching it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's beautiful. I love the story. The story sounds great. Um, it's very obviously a very classic tale, right? War and love, and you know. and the conflict that creates, right? Kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of feel to it, you know. So very nice, and it's Pakistani. So listen, man, it's like we're in this animation renaissance over the last like decade or so. You know, coming out of France and Korea, you know, Norway, you know, like Africa, like definitely parts of South Africa, Nigeria, like
Yeah.
not just animators, but like whole studios and teams producing amazing stuff. So this is
Well, you know, a lot of different countries have always had like their own dedicated animation scenes. You know, Russia was famous for having a lot of really like, artsy animations. If anybody has ever seen like the Snow Queen, or recently there was a one animation that came out of Russia that got really popular. It was called The African Tale. It was a cartoon that came out of the Soviet Union about this tribesman in Africa. It's got great animation. I meant to actually I've seen some clips of it, but
yeah,
I think what's really great is that nowadays, you know, thanks to the internet, you know, a lot of this kind of stuff is a lot more accessible. So we're
right, yeah, yeah, which is great. So because you know we're seeing stuff that we probably, you know, I know I would probably wouldn't even know about if it wasn't for YouTube and social media, you know. So which is pretty phenomenal, and like stuff like this would get missed, you know, these beautiful stories and animations. So yeah, that looks awesome. So be interesting if we can find it maybe on streaming or something. Check it out and actually watch it and see how good it is, and we can talk about it on another stream. So
hmm
the next we got this one is called Stand Firm, A Light in the Shadows. And this one looks to be a Christian based story. So let's check it out, see what it's about.
The light is in danger. I must send them out before the darkness swallows them.
I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves.
That light pressing down your chest. That is his scent. You can smell it, can't you? That copper sting in the air.
Samson, David, are you with me?
Guess there's no turning back now.
As long as someone remembers who started it.
Good. Now let's light up this world.
It's too fresh. It wasn't supposed to awaken yet.
The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood,
But against rulers.
Against authorities.
Against the powers of this dark world.
And against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms.
I can smell your fear. Do you know what happens when your light goes out? I do. And I can't wait to show you.
Coming soon. Sorry. What are your thoughts?
All right, I'm
I'm
not
laughing.
gonna.
Why you're laughing? That's why I wanted you to go first.
All right, so start with the good stuff. Um, I actually do like the most of the character designs. I think the guy in the who was blindfolded as Samson, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked cool. Um, yeah, he looks cool. Um, I mean, and I think the animation wise, because I'm guessing it's an independent project.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's something Lamblight Studios. So, yeah, I'm guessing that's an independent studio.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lamblight Studio. So,
yeah. So it looks, yeah. So overall, I think the animation's okay. I think that my main thing is, I'm sure you guys, I'm sure you've all seen those sort of YouTube video essays that are like, you know, Christian movies should do this and not this, and it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
this ham-fisted preacher next to it's always that one movie with Spider-Man in it, the Amazing Spider-Man in it. What's that? You know what I'm talking about?
No, what movie is that?
It was a World War II movie about the pacifist.
Pacifist.
You really don't know what I'm talking about?
No, you said Spider Man.
The actor, it's the actor.
Oh, the actor. That's what I'm like, what?
Oh, I know.
Okay, now I understand. You're talking about Tobey Maguire.
No, the
Andrew
amazing.
Garfield?
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
You
Okay.
don't know that movie?
It's called
You
The
don't know-
Pacifist. Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, that's what. But you mentioned Spider Man. I'm like, what?
Okay,
That's
Hacksaw
what threw me
Ridge.
off.
There we go. It's Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that rings. Yeah, got it.
So it's always like Hacksaw Ridge, juxtaposed to this, ham-fisted.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's a lot of movies, especially older movies. I remember one with Mel Gibson where he was. It's called Runner, and that had very strong Christian themes to it. And
yeah,
1917 came out, and it has it's there. It's not, but it's not in your face. It's not, but there's definitely an abiding sort of faith of the soldiers. So yeah, I know what you're saying. It's more subtle and it's not ham-fisted.
yeah,
And here, while it looks cool and it's clearly a proof of concept, so it's not obviously not like a finished trailer. You know what I mean? Like the animation is not completely done, right? It's a very low frame rate. So I give it a pass. Like visually though, it does look nice. And you're right, the character designs do look cool. I'm not sure about the Samson design. I'm not sure. I guess because he's blindfolded because he lost his eyes.
well, yeah, he lost his sight and he
Right.
becomes.
I'm not sure in this context. Like this is clearly sort of a fantasy world. So why? I, I'm just questioning why does he have to have his eyes gone? Yeah, because that's not a positive thing. That's a negative, right? You know, if you're familiar with the story of Samson and Delilah, right, you know how he lost his eyes, right, and
Yeah,
how he ended up, which was bound and chained,
yeah,
and basically doing a kamikaze, right? he,
yeah,
he toppled the temple and killed his enemies, but he killed himself. So I don't. It's kind of a weird design choice to have him blindfolded
and chain.
with chain. Yeah. I mean, it looks cool, right? But it's considering this is a biblical, reference. I'm not sure. I don't get it because it's like, did he die and now he's reincarnated or something in this other world? Or you understand what I'm saying? Like you're making a reference to a biblical character using these visual cues, but the visual cues have a negative connotation, right? Like they don't. Like for example, if he designed it without the chains and without the, and just had his hair long, just made his hair long, then you go, oh, Sam,
Yeah.
all right, Like you understand already, and
They
his
could have
weapon.
gave him like a lion's cape
Well,
or
that's
something.
well, not only that, but he could have given the. Was he? Did he kill a bunch of soldiers with a jawbone, right, from a donkey or something? Like
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
could have
yeah.
given him a weapon like that, shaped like a jawbone, right, where it's looks unusual, but he wields it with power, right? Like that would have been, like oh okay, yeah, like. But here it's like he's blind and he has, like yeah, we know what happened to you, Samson, and then that's supposed to be David, I guess, on the other side.
Yeah.
So he looks very like the character looks cool, but it can be anybody. Like there's nothing about it that says, "Oh, that's David." You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I would probably recommend going back to the drawing board with that and saying like, what signifies David? Like, sword because he was definitely a warrior.
Could have gave him a slingshot.
Yes, like, exactly. You understand?
Yeah.
Something like or even some type of contrived weapon that resembles a slingshot, but maybe it's more sophisticated, or that kind of thing. Because it looks like it is definitely like spiritual, and there's like sort of magical properties, in this world, right? So why not give them magical weapons or something, like a la Dungeons and Dragons, right? So, and then the kid in the front, I don't know who that is. Do you know?
Well, I think that's
Did I miss it?
I think that's just the anime protagonist.
Oh,
I
okay,
think it's one of those
got it,
things. This
got
is
it.
kind of like
Okay, it's like isekai type of thing where
no. I'm from my perspective, this is more of a. I know you've never heard of this, but like a Fates kind of thing, where like the anime protagonist summons different historical figures from history.
got it, got it.
Yeah.
So okay, that explains some things, I guess.
So like yeah, so like Fates, like people like the protagonist usually summons like King Arthur, but she's like an anime girl, or they'll summon Alexander the Great, or
That's
yeah.
that's fascinating. Okay,
So this is
so
what this reminds me of.
he's in this world. Well, and then so I think it probably is kind of another world too, right? Where he's pulled into this world, and then
I mean, maybe they didn't really suggest
it
it.
doesn't look like it's a world. Like he's got like a
Well, yeah, it
body.
doesn't look like our world. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying the way he's designed.
he's also wearing a hoodie.
yeah,
Yeah.
the jacket on. So clearly he's not from this world either. So and that's fine. That sounds cool. But yeah, that's my only thing with the Samson and
No, that's fair.
kind of throws me off a bit because it's like, well, why are they here and how did they get here? Or are they just named Samson, but they're not the actual biblical characters?
I mean, maybe we don't
They
really know.
obviously hearken to those characters, but they're not.
I mean, even if they do, even if they're not exactly the people, I think you should still want to portray them in a
Right,
way
like
that
reference
signifies, like,
So,
yeah,
and who's the chick, right? Like who's this?
yeah, I don't know,
Ruth, Deborah,
Esther, I don't know,
Esther. Yeah, like I don't know.
yeah, it's throwing stuff out there.
You know,
But and
he's
for
just
the
her big sister. I don't know. So.
I don't know, and for context, we're not, we're only critiquing it because like it's not like because obviously we're both writing stories that have a lot of Christian themes in it, but I think there's a way because I think my bigger issue is that I was kind of able to predict all of the. It was so on the nose to the point where I was able to predict all the dialogue before they even said it,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, but like visually, like this is kind of cool. Like with the whole
yeah, it looks cool, and I think
like your light going out obviously is a theme, and it's definitely a Christian theme, right?
yeah.
You just read what is it, Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitudes, and he talks about
Yeah.
your light so shine, right?
Yeah,
So
and I do like the name Stand Firm. I think it's a good.
yeah, I
name.
do. That's very good. I kind of feel like it's a little all over the place. We'll see, once the story comes out. But so far as themes, like it's like stand firm. Then it's like let your light shine. Obviously, your light, and all this. I'm like, well, I kind of feel like pick one. Like, why not just have it be about light? And what if they were heroes and they have light-based powers or something, and it's based on their faith, something like that. And if they start to lose faith in troubling times, their light starts to dim or something, or I don't know. I'm just spitballing, but especially this guy. Like, okay, who is he? Is he the angel of death, or is he supposed to be Satan, or I don't know. So I mean, obviously he's evil.
Yeah,
He
yeah, yeah,
looks
yeah.
evil, I'll put it that way. So and he's got this lamp, and it's got a blue flame, which is interesting versus just a regular. So that's kind of fascinating. Like, why is it blue versus normal red and yellow, right?
Yeah.
So could it be like maybe it's a heavenly flame or something, or represents the spirit of God, or So that kind of like that, just a little bit of mystery. So yeah, I mean the studio is called Lamplight, so obviously strong themes with light, right? Light and darkness, right? Then there's this, and it's like, okay, who's this guy? Is he the main nemesis, the main protagonist, or antagonist, or
Well, I mean, clearly just looks like a generic, like, bad guy.
yeah, he does seem right. That's my point. He kind of seems a bit generic, I guess. Obviously he's darkness, I guess. So, but I don't know. I appreciate the attempt. And like I said, overall, it looks cool. It also looks unfinished, though.
Yeah.
See, and then here, like he's like activating something, I guess. See, and it's like, what is that? And he has a sword now, right? So is that like tied to his light? Like, you understand? So that's kind of interesting. I have a lot of questions. Like what's the like the power system, and because that's kind of cool. Like he can manifest a sword, right? Because he has this mark, and then you notice it's a mark on his right hand. So that's something that's a biblical, So I don't know. That's interesting. We'll see. But yeah, I wanted to check this out because I'm like, oh, this looks fascinating. It's Christian based, obviously, very strong Christian themes.
Yeah.
So, and they definitely don't shy away from it, which is fine.
Yeah, I wish them all the best. I hope, but they flesh it out.
Never a bad thing, right? I think it just depends on context, right? Like, for example, if this really is a story about a kid who maybe his faith is tested, right? So he starts off in our world, regular good old Earth, and something goes down, and there's this, challenge that he's facing, with his family and friends and school or whatever, right? And then something happens, and he gets sucked into this other world, and it could be like It's a Wonderful Life, where maybe God sends an angel, right, to like test his faith or strengthen his faith, and this is that adventure that strengthens his faith, so that when he comes back home, now he can face the challenges of his life, right? That could be kind of fascinating, and so being like obviously Christian and on the nose and not as subtle isn't inherently bad, right? It's all about the execution. It's how you execute the story, where it's like, okay, it's on the nose, but it's kind of supposed to be, or it needs to be, for the sake of the story. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with it. I just hope it's good. That like at the end of the day, it serves the purpose of being entertaining, right? Because regardless of whatever message you want to put, right, it's supposed to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And when your message overshadows the entertainment, then you're failing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's the God, because the gospel. This is the reality, right? I think Christian creatives should always understand. The gospel doesn't need your project. It doesn't need your story. It doesn't need your dancing, your singing. It doesn't. All it needs is to be preached, right? Faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, is Christ and him crucified. That's the gospel. So everything else is kind of, gravy, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you can go out to the street and just preach to people, just tell people about the good news. You don't have to dance, you don't have to read poetry, but those things can be used to help facilitate the spreading of the gospel, right?
Yeah.
You understand? It's like, what did Paul say? He said, one planet, the other water, but God gives the increase. So you could be planting a seed or watering a seed with your creativity, right? And that's wonderful, right? But it's God that gives the increase every time, right? It's Him, it's His power that the gospel spread. We're His tools in that sense, right? So that's kind of all I want to say. Is
No,
like,
I mean that's. I
yeah,
mean, I think
it
that's
gets
a good
forgotten,
point.
like, and I think that's why the criticism exists, because some creators, Christian creators, forget to entertain because they get caught up in the themes and the message, and
Yeah.
that's great, but let's say, what is your goal here? If it's to preach the gospel, just go preach it.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
I'm reminded of I'm reminded uh, when I was doing taking community college classes, one of my professors, great guy, very intelligent, and but he because I told him about our comic,
Yeah.
and he was trying to pitch the superhero idea to me, and I was like, all right, cool, and he was talking about like this, I guess, environmental superhero who was trying to like solve pollution in the inner city or something, and then eventually he stopped talking about the hero and he just started lecturing me about
Right about the
pollution in the inner city.
yeah,
And I kept asking him, well, that's neat, that's interesting, but what is how are you gonna turn this into an interesting
yeah. Like, why do
like
I care
superhero?
about the hero then?
And every time he just kept lecturing me about the pollution in the inner city. And I'm
Yeah,
like, well, that's great, but how are you gonna, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
exactly.
like when the stuff he did tell me about his superhero was like, oh well, uh he could uh uh he could implant ideas in people's minds to make them do like he could basically brainwash people essentially. And I'm like, oh, that sounds more like a villain than a
No, it's not.
superhero. So it feels like he put more thought. He didn't put that much thought into the superhero part, And it's not
Well,
like
right, because like we've been seeing, when these ideologies are manifest through mainstream, the heroes become villains because it's a villainous ideology in the first place. So it's no wonder that his hero came off as a villain. You understand it?
well, yeah,
You
there's
know,
that.
and I'm not knocking environmental, like, in the sense of people wanting to, like, pick up trash, and clean, keep their neighborhoods clean, and
Yeah,
stop
there's nothing
stop
wrong with
water
that.
pollution, from factories. That's how, but that's not environmentalism, right? That's people being objectively responsible with the environment, right?
No, I get
Environmentalism
that.
as an
Yeah,
ideology is something it's off the chain, right? It's unhinged, because all it involves is, just like he described, forcing people to do what you want them to do, because you think you understand. That's why it's villainous, because that's the crux of what it is. That's why it's always tax credits and all this kind of nonsense, right? It's all about force. It's
well,
never
sure,
about
yeah.
freedom, right? So, and I don't mean to be a diatribe, but that's kind of, I'm not
No,
surprised
it's
to hear
okay.
that, because that's literally what the logical extension is, that it's a villain,
Well,
right?
fair enough. Well,
Because you're
even if
starting
it's
from a villainous ideology, a villainous framework.
well, it's like you said,
You
it
want to
doesn't
be,
matter the ideology, right? Because it's like there's
no, it
shows
doesn't.
out
Yeah,
there where
still
it's
got to
like
be subtle. Yeah, exactly.
people hated, the new norm as much as they hated, something like Velma, right? Those are
Yeah,
two newer shows on the opposite ends of the quote unquote
right,
political spectrum, but
right.
they focus on the
Yeah,
message instead
yeah,
of
exactly.
entertaining. And the reality is that audiences don't like being preached at,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's not
When
even
they're
being
watching
preached at.
entertainment.
It's when it's so blatantly
Yeah.
pretentious. That's
Well,
really,
sure, yeah.
there's a sense of self importance that is not earned or deserved. That's why, right? That's why, when in the '80s, when I was a kid, I would watch GI Joe, right, and I would love it, right? Roller coaster ride, action, adventure, fun. Then at the end, there'll be this message about looking both ways before you cross the street. or never lying to your parents, or doing your homework before you go outside to play, or staying away from drugs. All of them were
But Dad,
preachy.
knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, knowing is that all of it was preachy. But you guess what? I didn't care. You know why? Because they earned the right to preach to me by entertaining me first. You understand? They came in, guns blazing, action packed karate kicks. You understand,
Yeah,
robots and
yeah.
lasers. And then by the end, I'm calming down like, oh man, that was awesome. Hey kids, you understand? Don't be a jerk. And knowing is half the battle. And I was like, okay, right? Because you earned it. You gave me this. You entertained me. So at the end, if you want to preach a little bit and say, don't do bad things, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna say, okay, you're right. Why? Because you earned it. So it's not that the audience doesn't want to be preached at. It's just you got to earn that privilege. You have to earn that sort of moral justification, right? Like Mother Teresa to go the extreme, right? She was who she was and respected around the world because she had this moral authority. Why? Because we saw her life and realized, wow, she gave up everything to do what she did, which is to feed the poor and bring attention to the poor around the world. So when she said we should do this, or she made a commentary about, life in general, people listened, right? Because she had moral authority. She put in the work and she did the sacrifices and all these things, and we saw it and go, whoa, let's pay attention to this woman. She's onto something because she's earned it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing on a very small, more insignificant scale when it comes to a movie or a story or TV show, right? Is you have to have a certain moral authority. Like the show itself has to be good. The movie itself has to be objectively good and entertaining. And then if you want to sprinkle in a little bit of ideology, right? You want to throw in a little moral lesson somehow. You better do it very effectively. You better execute it well. It has to be, in some cases, subtle, right? So that the audience goes, okay, I don't mind that because that was a great story. You understand? Like the way they did it, it was entertaining at the same time. Even if you don't agree with it, you can still go, but that was entertaining,
Well,
right?
sure, but I also think about there was a movie that I saw long, long time ago. I was watching a video that sort of unlocked this core memory. I used to watch a lot of AMC, but there was this old movie about a guy who wanted to make a drama, and he in order to like make the drama, because everybody was doing making comedies back in the day at during this time period, and so he wanted to make a drama, and he lived life as a homeless man in order
Right.
to like get a sense of the drama. And what ended up happening was, he lives life as a homeless person, but things get so extreme where he ends up
But
getting assaulted. He
you
loses.
you cut out for a second there.
Oh, my bad. I said, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, in this movie, chat, if you guys know what movie I'm talking about, feel free to leave it in the comments because it's an old movie. but but basically, what happens is he ends up getting assaulted. He loses his memory, goes to prison, and while he's in prison, like that's like the lowest point of his life, right? He doesn't know who he is. He's in jail, and they take him to this like this black church because this is during, I think. Obviously, this is during like Jim Crow and stuff like that, and in the black church, they're showing like Mickey Mouse cartoons, and everybody's laughing,
Right.
and they're all prisoners, right? But they're all laughing their butts off and stuff like that, and eventually he ends up getting his life back, and meaning when he meets back up with his Hollywood friends, they're like, "You still want to do that movie?" And he's basically like, "You know what? I want to do a comedy instead."
That's funny.
And there's a specific quote that he mentioned. And he was like, laughter is sometimes all some people have,
Very
right? But that was the whole point of the movie, right? It's like, oh, he wants to make a movie about pain and the suffering, the real, he wants to
Yeah,
make it
really,
real, right?
really good.
Everyone wants to make
Yeah,
a
yeah,
yeah. But
right.
it's like there's nothing wrong, like, but the whole point of the movie is like there's no shame about wanting to make. There's no shame in escapism, right?
Right, exactly, and that's the whole point. It's like the misguidedness is, do more people want to see the realities of the suffering of the world when we already see that? Right, turn on television, go walk outside,
Yeah,
go to any downtown USA city, right? You're going to see suffering and
right.
poverty, and So why do I want to go to a movie theater and watch it again?
Yeah, and
Right?
escapism looks different for different people,
It
right?
does.
For
It does.
boys, it's He-Man and Thundercats, and for girls, it's like Cinderella and Sailor Moon
Oh,
and
sure.
whatever. And for women, it's those weird romance novels where they date a werewolf, right? But like, it's
Well,
gonna look.
nowadays,
Oh yeah, I'm just.
I think Twilight kicked off something really, really twisted.
I mean, listen, that's true. I'm not going to disagree with that. At the same time, it's like it's a book. It's not. I'm like I don't care, right? But it's like it's one of those things where it's like we've gotten in that we've made a habit of trying to shun people for wanting escapism in their entertainment, right?
Right.
And that's kind of my big point.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the people who try to like make nuanced, stories, they really don't know how to do it. Which actually segues perfectly into the clip I wanted to show you.
which one?
The one about Legend of the Galactic Heroes. So there's an anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Actually, I had one more trailer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, actually forgot about this one. Well,
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just Marvel's zombies.
Oh, okay. I'll be honest. I really don't care about Marvel Zombies. I read the comics. I don't know if have you read the Marvel Zombie
Yeah.
comics?
Yeah, not all of them, but yeah, I've read a couple.
Yeah, I read them all in high school, and I didn't care for them.
Yeah, I just
It
wanted
was-
to show it in like
No, that's fair. There's some cool stuff in it.
kind of trash it or something. I don't know.
Well,
Just kidding.
we'll see. I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, let's watch it because I meant to bring it up and I just slipped my mind.
Oh, no worries.
Is there a virus infecting your system?
All the Avengers are dead. And they're coming for us.
All right, we got a world to save.
Namor.
Shit. Whoa. That's how you do that then.
Wow.
That was whack. No, I'm just kidding. That was whack. My favorite part is Blade fighting Ghost or whatever her name is. this is kind of dope, right? Because I just like Blade. But my question is with zombies, like he stabs her. I mean, aren't they already dead? So why would it stab? You know, it's kind of weird. I don't know. You're muted, you know, if you're talking.
I knew that. But no, I was just agreeing with you. I mean, isn't the whole point of zombies that they don't feel pain?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why? So why would a stab, a stab wound stop, make a difference? It's like it's fun to watch. Then you start thinking, and you're like, this is kind of ridiculous. But I don't know. It looks like it's kind of fun. Like if you were like 12, this would be awesome. Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
you'd be like, yo, this is crazy. Oh wow, right? But
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not really big on zombie stuff to begin with. So
I'm not either. I mean, I watched The Walking Dead up until they kidnapped. What's his name? I forgot his name now. Who was once the main character. Once he was gone, I didn't care about it anymore. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, and I kind of feel like The Walking Dead is responsible for all this nonsense with zombies. So.
Well, Marvel Zombies came out.
Overdone, right?
Marvel.
I mean, there's Night of the Living Dead that kicked it off way back when,
Oh yeah.
and that wasn't even really a zombie movie, right? That was just about people who were infected or something. But it definitely kicked off the genre.
And Marvel Zombies came out in 2006. When did The Walking Dead come out?
I don't know, but it was probably before 2006, don't you think? I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know. Oh, I know it was a comic before the show.
Yeah, right. It was a comic book, right? Exactly. So, yeah, The Walking Dead is. I mean, there's so many iterations. The TV series was started in 2010.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the books were years before that. So it's because it's based on the books initially.
Right.
So yeah, they definitely moved the genre forward. I mean, and it was definitely a cutting edge show. There's no denying that. It was very well done. The first 3 or 4 seasons was pretty solid. But yeah, at this point, I don't know, because I think DC did the same thing. Making it turn. Yeah, they did the same thing. They turned their heroes into zombies. There's a zombie
I don't
flag.
remember that.
Yeah, they did it years ago. Yeah, it was a series. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've, I don't know. At this point, it's just kind of like, wow, zombies. What if Thanos was a zombie? He would still be Thanos. He would still be a jackass, and he would still want to. I mean, I guess as a zombie, maybe he would want to, I don't know, create more zombies.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what would be the opposite of killing half of all existence? Doubling all of existence, right? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
It's like they're already villains, so making them zombies. Like heroes zombies, it's like, okay, there's a little bit of like, oh man, what if Superman was a zombie? That would be terrible, right? But after a while, it's like the evil Superman, right? Like at some point, it's kind of like, yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Like it's been done so much. It's like, yeah, we get it already. He would destroy the world, or he would murder everybody. Like, all right, we got Russian Superman and German Superman, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
evil Ultraman. It's like, yeah, we get it. Like, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? But I don't know. That's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care enough about it. Like I said, this scene was coolest to me because it's just kind of awesome to see that. But I don't know. I don't know to feel like we got characters that we really don't care about.
Yeah, I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, this is Kamala Khan, right? She's like
I
I
couldn't
don't know.
even tell.
Depends on if you know her from the comics or the video game or the TV series. Her powers varies. So from stretchy powers to energy powers, where it's kind of dumb. And then that's the Russian version of Captain America.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's supposed to be Black Widow's sister, whatever. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Who's also a Black Widow, I guess. So yeah, there's Captain America as a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh no, Captain America is a zombie. I mean, what does that mean? I don't. You know what I mean? It's a zombie with super strength. Oh no. I don't know. I'm kind of teasing it, but you know, it's like I don't see this as being like cutting edge or innovative, or I mean, it's kind of just stupid fun, I guess. And that's fine.
Yeah.
If it's just supposed to be silly fun, like the what if stuff, right? It's like, oh,
I mean, that's what it is. Yeah,
what if
essentially.
T'Challa was Star Lord? Like, okay. I mean, it's kind of fun to think about that, I guess. What if Captain America didn't get his powers? It's like, okay. I mean,
listen, when they finally adapt James Brown as the Hulk, then come talk
Brown
to
as
me.
the Hulk. Wow.
That was an actual thing.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
You've never seen that?
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, there was a what if comic where James Brown turned into the Hulk.
Yeah, that's just going off the rails.
It was hilarious.
Some things just should never exist.
No, it's perfect. It's James Brown. I gotta find it because that was a real thing.
So Marvel Zombies is going to be streaming September 24th. So it's coming out on Disney Plus, I would imagine. I don't have Disney Plus, so I'm not going to watch it because I'm not going to subscribe to it.
Oh, I wouldn't have watched it anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not. I mean, the animation looks fun, cool.
Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. I just
I'd rather see like Avengers versus zombies type of thing, right? Where it's just zombies, some type of zombie apocalypse, and the Avengers have to hold the line, right? That would be fun. Like, it kind of reminds me of a story idea I had that I wrote with Alex, where it was just that, but instead of it being on Earth, I probably shouldn't say anything, but
okay,
it's actually a galactic zombie apocalypse. So, like the zombies actually figure out how to transport themselves to other planets by infecting people, and then they spread it to other planets. And it's up to this plucky group of ragtag maverick, characters to stop it.
Yeah.
That was kind of the premise. But it's like I said, they're going planet to planet, stopping these zombies, right? So so every planet where they gets infected has the zombie apocalypse they have to stop. So it's kind of funny. So I'd love to finish that because I think that'll be more interesting. So, but yeah, that was it. I just wanted to get it out the way because I'm like, oh yeah, I want to cover this. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's Marvel, it's Disney. It's probably going to have some woke garbage in there somewhere, even though it's about zombies. They're going to squeeze it in somewhere. So
I don't know. I don't really care. Like I said, I read the comics and I didn't care for it, so I'm not gonna really.
Yeah, I read some of the Marvel and I read some of the DC. They both did zombie stuff.
See, now I'm ticked off because I'm actively looking for that issue.
I didn't care about either one. So
yeah. So I'm upset now because I'm actively looking for that one issue where James Brown turns into the Hulk, and I can't find it.
Well, that's probably a good thing because I don't want to see that.
But it's funny. It's funny.
Some things should not exist.
Because then they're gonna call me a liar on the internet.
Oh my God, the internet. That's the worst thing ever.
I know, right? But anyways, so for context for this, so this is a show. For those of you who don't know, this is a really famous anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It came out around the same time as Macross and all that. The anime did, anyways. Actually, I think the anime came out in the late 80s. The original novel series came out in 1982. It was written by Yoshiki Tanaka and illustrated by Yayuki Kato. I'm not sure if Mr. Conrad worked on. Oh, he worked. Yeah, he worked on Starship Troopers. He did some art for Starship Troopers. So that's interesting. That's kind of appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and he also did some illustration work for Dune, which feels appropriate. Yeah, because it's a war against two interstellar states. Basically, it's the Monarch, which is the Galactic Empire, and the Democratic Free Planets Alliance, and they're engaged in battle. So this is a scene with that context in mind.
「あなたに本当に勝つ気があればね。私は心の底から勝ちたいと思っているんだがね。いけませんな。ご自分で信じていらっしゃらないことを人に信じさせようとなさっては。あなたが勝つことだけを目的とする単純な職業軍人であるか、権力だけを欲する凡俗な野心家であるか、どちらかなら私としても先導する甲斐があるんですがね。ついでに自分自身の正義を信じて疑わない信念と責任感の人であれば、いくらでもけしかけられる。ところがあなたは、戦っている最中でさえ、自分の正義を全面的には信じていない人ですからな。信念なんぞないくせに戦えば必ず勝つ。唯心的な精神主義者から見れば、許し難い存在でしょうな。困った人だ。私は、最悪の民主政治でも、最良の専制政治に勝ると思っている。だから、呼ぶトリオニー氏のために、ラインハルト・フォン・ローエングラム公爵と戦うのさ。こいつはなかなか立派な信念だと思うがね。銀河帝国を作ったルドルフは、民衆の指示によって皇帝になった。最悪の民主政治の帰結する先に何があるか。興味深いとは思いませんか。逆説的ではありますがね、最良の民主政治を生み出す土壌としては、最悪の民主政治と最良の専制政治、どちらが適しているんでしょうね。
Interesting. You're muted again.
I knew that. So as I was saying, one of the reasons why
See, I know something's wrong because it's quiet. It's never quiet.
I know. But one of the reasons why I like this scene, and it kind of makes me want to watch the show, because I kind of avoided it for a while because it seemed kind of serious, which isn't inherently bad. It just wasn't what I felt like watching at the time. But it doesn't it doesn't talk down to the audience, right? And it conveys the central theme of the series in a way that doesn't force you to believe in any particular ideology, but it allows you to come to your own conclusion, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what makes the scene very powerful. Is there is no answer. They're not telling you which one is better. They're just posing the question, right? And
right.
Which one is better? I don't know, because like you said, the autocracy, someone came into power and the people loved it. They loved them. They,
Yeah, right. Is what's worse, a bad democracy or a good autocracy, right? So it's like,
and the reality is I mean, my answer is neither, because it all depends on the people, right? The people who are in power. So you could have a great democracy if you have great people.
Right.
You can have a garbage democracy if you have garbage people, right? If you have
Right.
a great ruler in an autocracy, life is roses, right? Sunshine and roses. But if he's a tyrant, right, then life is hell. So it's always based on the nature of the people that you allow to rule over you, right? That's what we're seeing in reality in the states right here, right? Any country, but especially in the United States, is if you elect people that are corrupt, right, you're going to get corruption.
Well, those corrupt people come from, from poor, poor culture. And what is culture but just a series of habits, right?
Yeah, well,
and it's like
more than that. Culture is your worldview. It's the way you see the world, and so culture is something that's derived.
Well, it's your worldview put into action.
It is exactly. It's your daily lifestyle, but it's also just what do you actually believe about the world? Do you believe that we're created in the image of God, and that we have we're special in creation, and that we have a purpose that is noble and great and good that should reflect His nature and will? Or do you believe we came from primordial soup and we're basically just animals acting out on our instincts and we're just trying to survive? Therefore, it's just about surviving. It's not really about doing good. You only do good for as long as it serves your purpose for survival, right? That's far more nihilistic, right? And fatalistic. And that's kind of my point. Your worldview does matter, especially when it comes to, deciding the fates of other people, right? Whether it's administering the death penalty, administering what we call justice, right, and doing it fairly and ethically and morally, right, or deciding to go to war, right? That you understand, like all these things from our worldview, what we believe about reality, and unfortunately, a lot of people may claim to believe in God, but the reality is they do not believe in the one true living God, right? And because of that, we see their actions, right? We see the consequences of their actions and their choices play out once they're in a position of power, right? And it's unfortunate, but it's like this is a powerful conversation just on that front because, like you pointed out, and it speaks to what we were saying about, this is good dialogue and good storytelling. Because while the writer may have a particular position, we really don't know what it is. We can sort of guess, because if that's the main protagonist right there, we can say, well, that's probably represents the writer. But the general could represent the writer's verbiage as well. So we don't know, right? So it's good writing. It's very, especially for something as heavy as politics, and they're talking about going to war and fighting over what they believe to be just reasons, right? Like freedom or liberty or some kind of justice being meted out.
Yeah. Well, one thing that the older guy mentions is that, it's not enough to be an idealist. The subtitles didn't properly translate it.
Well, no,
the most accurate.
It's pretty good, actually. So
okay. Well, I didn't. I think
the first one posted it because they actually retranslated, so to speak. So
yeah. Well, I didn't know if that the first part of the conversation came out clear, but basically he was saying like, it's not enough to be an idealist, right? You have to actually, believe you could.
Yeah, you have to believe it. In other words, he's saying, like, how do you expect others to follow you if you don't believe in yourself? Like, if you're just fighting because it's the right thing to do, right, and you're winning, great. But then if you're not even confident in your own ability to maintain and your own reasons for fighting,
right,
then it's like, how do you expect others to follow you, right, to actually root for you and actually join your cause? And that's kind of the gist of what he was saying. It's like, it's almost like, people wonder, well, how did Hitler rise to power and do what he did? It's because he convinced, millions of people in his country that he was the answer to their problems, right? That his philosophy or his ideas and his, that he was the way, right? And there's other factors, of course, at the time that was going to, the crashing of their economy and things like that. But he obviously took advantage of that and was able to convince enough people to say, yeah, we're gonna put you in power. We're gonna vote for you, right? And he obviously had the charisma to do it, and that's tends to be the common denominator with a lot of rulers, whether they're good or bad, is that they tend to be charismatic. They tend to be good orators, where they can convey ideas in a manner that is that shows conviction, right?
Right.
People, especially if they're in a certain state of mind, like I said, with the Weimar Republic crashing, in Germany and everything pre-World War II, it's like the people were in a certain state of mind where they're like, we need answers, and this guy sounds like he has them, right? And sadly, that's a lot of times that's the case. even in the States, current day, you look at presidents that have been elected, and you're like, how did that guy get? It's like, well, at the time, he was saying the right things and doing the right things, right? Where the people were kind of like, yeah, I'm hearing what I want to hear, right?
Yeah.
So
that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, and he's convincing me, like he's confident in what he's gonna do, right?
And nobody's immune to that, no matter how enlightened you may perceive yourself to be. No one's really immune from.
Because we all have that confirmation bias where we want to hear, especially, and like I said, context matters. You want to bring up Trump specifically. Say, how did he win? Well, it's the timing of it all, right? It's like you have an economy that's on the verge of crashing, high prices at the grocery store, high gas prices, the drums of war with Ukraine and Russia, and the idea of the U.S. getting involved. And he's saying all the things that a lot of people wanted to hear, which is, hey, we're not going to go to war, and I'm going to bring down the price of everything, and I'm going to do all these things to make life better, right? And a lot of people are like, hey, that sounds great to me, right?
Yeah.
The other person is, she's not convincing me. She's saying nice things, but I'm not convinced, right? Because maybe she didn't convey that conviction very well, right? You understand? And at the end of the day, a lot of times that's what it comes down to. And that's kind of what this conversation reflects. It's like he's like, pointing that out with this guy who's clearly, at least one of the heroes of the story, right? And it's like, yeah, you try to be this righteous guy, but it's like that's not enough. If you want people to get on board with you, you have to be a leader, and that means you have to express conviction, right? You have to be convincing. So,
right.
Yeah, pretty powerful conversation, and an example, in my opinion, of very effective writing. To have two characters with opposing views, but never giving you this definitive answer, right? It's really about for us as the audience to pose that question to us and say, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this used to be something that you would see in like old Star Trek and stuff like that. And
that's right. Barney Miller.
Yeah, that's true. Barney Miller
used to pose questions like, what do we do about this? I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
But it was just there to make us think, to make us just, oh yeah, what would we do about that, right? Like, how would I respond? I don't know, right? A lot of TV shows used to do that, but it's like we've gotten away from the subtlety, and it's become just sort of. It went from the quill to the hammer, right? The quill just poses the questions, but the hammer says, this is it right here, bam. If you don't like it, tough. That's kind of where we've ended up in the last decade or so.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's just that conversation alone is enough. We could talk for hours about just that idea of these opposing. And they just did democracy versus autocracy. But it's like, well, what about a republic? What about a libertarian society? What about decentralized power versus centralized power? Right? Because democracies and autocracies and republics are all centralized power, centralized authority, right? Which just means they have the power of force behind them, right? That's all the government is force, right? But what if we decentralize that power, where we all have our own force that we can enforce for our own rights, right? That's a more libertarian view, but that'd be interesting to even ask that question, right? So something to think about. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Wanted to talk about that,
Yeah, and let us know if you guys seen Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah,
is it good? Let us know. Because
I
we
wonder,
haven't watched it yet.
series, how long does it go? How many episodes? That'd be interesting to find out.
I believe it's 110 episodes.
Oh wow, so
And
it went
then-
on for a good while.
Yeah. The original novels was 1982 to 1987, and then the anime, I believe it was because there was a OVA, and then there's the Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Yeah.
It's 110 episodes. So,
All right, cool. Gotta check it out. Hopefully, it's free on YouTube or something, or Crunchyroll. We'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All
I
right,
have to check it out. On a lighter note, there's actually now I haven't watched the footage yet, but apparently during the Disney D23 show, they teased some footage of a new Toy Story movie. Now, normally I wouldn't care because personally I think Toy Story should have ended with the third one, and I don't think that's a crazy opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
But at the same time, I
said
saw
liked the fourth one. It was good.
it was all right, but I also see a bunch of Buzz Lightyears, and I love Buzz Lightyear, so I couldn't resist. So we're gonna check this out now.
Yeah, let's give it a watch.
A new trailer and stills from Toy Story 5 were revealed at Disney D23 this weekend. And here is everything they showed. The leaked trailer reveals a cargo of high-tech edition Buzz Lightyears stranded on an island, with all of them believing they are from Star Command. They scour the island to find no escape, then they collectively sit at a campfire, and one of them spots a shining star, speaking his first words, Star Command. Then the camera pans up to the logo. According to the panel, these special edition Buzz Lightyears will be a secondary villain in the film. The antagonist goes to Lilypad, who was also revealed, as the toys will be going against electronics in the movie. New renders of Woody, Buzz, and Jessie were shown, which made them look like you'd select them from the Super Smash Bros. Roster. Then there's Smarty Pants, who is a potty training toy voiced by Conan O'Brien. And finally, the release date being summer 2026. Audience response has been poor, with one person claiming, "I need to know what bullshit they're going to come up with because this is the simplest villain to defeat ever." With another adding, "This is the third, fourth, if Lightyear counts, movie with evil Buzz Lightyear in it. Incredible how they have no ideas for this character anymore." I feel slightly more positive about the project. Toy Story 4 didn't work for me because it added too much complexity to Woody abandoning his role as a toy, all whilst fracturing the group and introducing their worst character yet, that being Forky, who is unfortunately returning. Toy Story 5 feels streamlined around a very relevant topic about giving iPads to kids. It could work. Or perhaps they'll just steal Adult Swim's idea.
Wait a second, where's the controller?
Now, who's up for multiplayer?
I saw that episode too. I like Robot Chicken, so
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean that's interesting.
So I think it was already teased that they were going to do something involving iPads.
I mean,
a while back.
that makes sense because although I would put it this way, it makes sense in the world of Toy Story, right? That just like Buzz was new technology relative to Woody, right? Not just because he's an astronaut, but also he's digitized, right? He had sound effects and things like that, and buttons and wings that expanded, right?
Woody is literally a toy from like the 50s.
Yeah, and all he had was the pull string. And as a kid, if you ever had a pull string anything, eventually that thing gets worn out.
Yeah.
It doesn't draw back the same, right? It doesn't snap
Mhm.
back, and that was the whole point, the symbolism of it all, right? So it's very clever. So in two, it was about Andy, you know, kind of growing up and the toys being separated from Andy and finding out Woody had value beyond Andy's toy, right? But choosing Andy anyway, right? Because he wanted to be loved, right? By one kid versus millions, right? And then three, it's kind of like what was three? Three was
3 was
Woody.
about Andy going to college.
Yeah, but it was the daycare. That's what I was trying
Yeah.
to. And the bear was the bad guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Because he was jaded because he lost his kid and all this kind of stuff. So that was like, okay, So yeah, and so we didn't get an evil Buzz in those three. We got an alternative Buzz, right? Where he spoke Spanish or something, right? And so we didn't get evil Buzz until the Lightyear movie. So they comment about like we have another evil Buzz. It's like, well, yeah, we only had the Lightyear movie, but the Lightyear movie was garbage. So not just because of the virtue signaling with the lesbian couple, like the movie was just
No, it was just
terrible.
bad. It was awful.
It was a terrible story. It was dumb. It completely ignored the established canon of the animated series, right? Like, why would you do that? I don't know. Like they literally had it all there. It's just like DC and the Bruce Timm, animated series, right? They just completely ignore all that and just they keep making all these like kind of
Well, it's like Star Wars and the novels. There's so many
mediocre-
novels out there.
mediocre movies when they just have this whole animated universe they can draw from. And it's the same with Toy Story. It's with Lightyear. They had an entire series. I think it was at least 3 seasons actually. Like maybe
Yeah, I
4.
think so. Yeah. No, I think it was 3. I have to.
It's like so and it was popular. It was pretty well received. And it's kind of like, so why aren't you just drawing from that to build this movie universe? It's like it's like right there in front of them, and they just choose to ignore it. It's like the dumbest thing. So yeah, Lightyear was garbage. Toy Story 4 was okay. I mean, I liked it. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. It was good. It was entertaining. The story was solid. But it wasn't like this mind blowing type of thing where, like compare it to Kung Fu Panda, right? Where we got 3 solid movies and each one elevated the character to another level, right? And was more epic than the previous. And then they did 4 for some reason. I don't know why, but you understand we got 3 great movies. How to Train Your Dragon, same thing. 3 great
Yep.
movies that progressed the character and gave us, satisfaction, right? Very satisfying conclusion. And but with Toy Story 4, it really didn't do that, right? It was kind of
No.
flat, and all it was Woody now deciding I will leave Andy or leave the girl now.
Yeah, Bonnie. Yeah.
To go out into the world with Bo Peep for some reason.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Sense, and I'm not saying it's like I said, it was a good movie, it was a good watch. I enjoyed it, but yeah, him going off with Bo Peep was kind of dumb. I kind of feel like it should have been the opposite, where Bo Peep was like, "Well, I left because I wanted to see what the world, but now that you're back, I want to come back, right, and be loved by a kid." That would have made more sense because that's what toys are made for, right? They're made to be played with by kids and be loved by kids. So it would have made more sense for her to come back to Woody, and but whatever. I'm not gonna put too much in, pour too much meaning into that. But it was an okay movie. It was fine. It was, but now 5. I don't know. I kind of wonder, like, why are they still going with this? Like, it doesn't, especially after Lightyear just bombed. It's kind of like, yeah, you probably want to just, cut your losses, be done with it.
Also, how are you gonna have a movie? How are you gonna have a Toy Story 5 with Woody, Buzz, and
Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse. When Woody's no longer Bonnie's toy, so why would he care?
Well, that's what I'm wondering too, right? It's like, well, what are we seeing here with Woody in the picture? If he isn't in the picture, I don't know. And you got all these buzzes, right? So I don't know. It's kind of odd. Unless it's like Woody pops in and out, like he's comes around and then he sneaks off to go be free, which wouldn't make any sense, but okay. I mean, you understand? Like you're a toy. It's like being a stray cat, right? Like, why would you pass up living in a house with food at your disposal, being loved and cared for, right? Being able to live indoors versus in a dirty, stinky alley. Like you're not going to do that. You're going to choose the house, right? You may want to get out every once, right, and run around, but you're still going to go back to the house, right? It's kind of like, so a toy is even worse because you're a toy. Like there's only so much you can do before you end up getting broken and trampled and the weather, just weathering alone, you're gonna, especially Woody, he's gonna dry rot and all that stuff. You understand? It's the dumbest idea that we're just gonna, like in 4 when they were he found Bo Peep at the park, and so they were just always at the park, and then they would just like hide somewhere, I guess. And I was like, what? Like it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense, but it's a movie, right, about talking toys. So, but this is kind of intriguing with the army of Buzz here. So,
yeah, I mean that was the coolest part.
Yeah, because it looks like they could probably have a lot of fun with it. And that's what's funny. Like this idea, it's like the Kong versus Godzilla, where for the first half of the movie, it was all about King Kong and being in the Middle Earth, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
it's like these little misadventures. That was a movie.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
That could have been the entire movie.
That could have been the whole movie, and then maybe he just fights the other Kong, whatever, and defeats him. Right?
Yeah, Scar King. Yeah,
Scar King. Like that would have been it. You didn't even need Godzilla. Like it's. I don't know. It's kind of like I kind of feel like this could be the same. Where, oh look, a shipment of Buzz Lightyears accidentally gets washed ashore on some deserted island, and
if they had made a whole thing about that, I would be more interested.
Right. And maybe there could be like a tribe or something with kids, and the kids discover them, and I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They could have a lot of fun with that, I think. So, it could be like warring tribes or something. I don't know, but whatever. It's like, I don't see the purpose, but I'm sure they'll figure something out. And listen, they have a solid track record with Toy Story so far as the stories. Like, they've all been solid stories.
No, I don't know.
So there's no reason to expect this to be worse, right? The only blotch is the Lightyear movie, right? So, and that was a separate movie. It wasn't about toys. It wasn't, so.
It wasn't even about Buzz Lightyear.
It wasn't even about Buzz Lightyear. That's true. So, we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed at this point, especially, I don't have small kids anymore. Like you guys are adults. So.
And we're also not small.
Yeah, like we'll see if kids love. They're gonna want the new latest Buzz Lightyear doll, right? So,
yeah. The moral of the story is go watch the Buzz Lightyear animated series.
Yeah, seriously, go watch it. It's actually pretty good. And there is an evil Buzz in that series.
There is, but he's a lot cooler than.
Yeah, there's an evil Buzz. I mean, it looks like they took a page out of the Knight Rider series. I don't know if you're
Knight Rider.
Yeah, Knight Rider. There is an evil Michael Knight.
You mean the talking car?
Yeah, Kit. Right.
Oh.
There's an evil Michael Knight. He has an evil mustache and goatee.
Is he serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my god.
He's evil, and he drives a big. Well, at first I think he had a duplicate Kit named Cat, I think. And then that got destroyed. I think it got blew up or something. And then he came back again for revenge, right? And he's driving this huge semi truck, who's also like a talking vehicle, right? Self aware, and he's like evil and and he's like totally decimates Kit. And they have to rebuild him. It's actually pretty. Listen, Knight Rider was a great show. I don't care what anybody says. That was a great show watching when I was a kid, man. So
Yeah.
but watching the Buzz Lightyear animated series, when I saw the evil Buzz, I was like, that makes me think of Knight Rider. Because it's kind of similar. Like he has like a goatee, he looks evil. So
That's crazy.
Kind of funny. I'm like, I wonder if they were inspired by Knight Rider or something.
Maybe.
That was the thing, right? The evil doppelganger of the hero, right?
Yeah.
And he's like cool and suave and all that. Yeah, that was the thing. So, but yeah, the anime series is actually pretty dope. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's right. He was called Zub.
Zub.
I remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's right. Even the TV show did the evil Buzz. Yeah, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's a simple plot device, right? You have a hero, then just make a double that's evil, right? So it's like it's a simple thing, but you can have a lot of fun with that. So, and like I said, in the anime series, it was fun. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. So, kids enjoyed it. So, but here, I don't know. It's kind of like, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. I'm kind of wondering.
Oh, was Buzz Lightyear written by the same writers as the Gargoyles? Because that'd be interesting.
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm not sure about that. That's a good question.
Oh, well, Mecha Missionary says it's because the Gargoyles writer reuses his own ideas. So I'm guessing it's the same writers.
Oh, interesting.
That's actually pretty cool.
Did they do that in Gargoyles? Was there an evil Goliath? I don't remember.
I don't remember there being an evil Goliath. I know there was a guy with a goatee, but that's just a separate character.
He was just the evil.
Yeah, he was just a crazy evil rich guy.
Yeah, I thought there was a like evil versions of the Gargoyles or something like.
I can't imagine Goliath with a goatee.
I don't remember. It's been so long since I watched that show. I got to rewatch that show.
I know, right?
7 years. That was a great show.
Oh, okay. So his skin was black with white hair. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. See, there you go. See, it's a simple trope.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of in everything. There's Sonic and Shadow. There's Mario and Wario. There's Superman and Bizarro.
Yeah, but Bizarro's not even Wario's. They're not an exact replica.
Right, but it's an evil doppelganger.
Yeah.
Of the hero.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, evil Buzz. So, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like maybe they will be evil, this army of Buzz, but maybe it won't be like intentionally evil. Maybe they just be like they just want something.
Well, I mean, that's kind of I think that's kind of the issue most people have is that it's the plot device that they use of Buzz Lightyear doesn't realize he's a toy. So he gets tricked into doing something, right? It's kind of like with Knuckles in the Sonic series, where because Knuckles lives on a deserted island, he doesn't know about the outside world. So Eggman's able to trick him into thinking Sonic.
Right.
Evil.
Yeah. That's
it gets reused everywhere.
I was wondering, if that's the case, where it's like their intentions are not evil per se.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I think it's just a Knuckles situation where he just gets tricked because he's gullible.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Yeah, we'll see. But
I mean, they did it. They did it in Toy Story 2 already. They also did it in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I mean, are you guys excited for Toy Story 5? I'm not. So let us know in the comments. If you have kids, are your kids excited? Like,
I think kids will like the Buzz Army.
Tell us like, are your kids into Toy Story at all nowadays?
That's a good question.
That'd be interesting to find out if you have kids. Like, are they aware of Toy Story in the same way that they are aware of like Ninja Turtles? Right?
Yeah,
I know kids love Ninja Turtles even today. That's always been the case. Like you can't go up to any kid. You can go to any kid right now and say, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and they're gonna go Ninja Turtles, right? Like they know the Ninja Turtles. And that's been the case since I was a kid, basically. Like everybody loves Ninja Turtles, but is Toy Story like on par with that? Like, is it a household name? Because there's no series or anything. Like the Buzz Lightyear series ended years ago.
Yeah.
Like forever ago. Like I don't even think it's in syndication right now. It
Well, I don't
on Disney
think.
Plus, I guess, but that'd be interesting to find out because
I mean, outside of the movies and the Toy Story shorts, because there's a lot of Toy Story shorts
on Disney Plus.
Well, no, like how like Pixar would show a short film before the main film.
Oh, you mean like Jerry's Game and all that stuff? I know.
Yeah, there's a few for Toy Story, but my point is that I don't.
Toy Story shorts themselves, right?
They are Toy Story shorts.
They are.
Yeah, you never seen them?
You don't mean like bumpers?
No, you've never seen them? Yeah, there was
bumpers in the
no, that's not
Buzz
bumpers.
Lightyear animated series. They had bumpers where they.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those are cool, but that's not the same thing. No, there were short films. Yeah, like there was one where Buzz Lightyear meets a Happy Meal version of himself. There was one where Rex meets a bunch of cool dinosaur toys, and he becomes a gladiator for some reason. There was one where Jessie confronts her fear with of the dark, because she was in storage and stuff like that. And they actually bring back Combat Carl. I don't know if that name rings a bell, but Combat Carl was
the army guy.
Yeah, that Sid blows up in the first movie. So they bring back Combat Carl, which is cool. But yeah, there's a bunch of Toy Story shorts, like short animated things.
On Disney Plus?
I mean, it's probably on Disney Plus, but they played at the beginning of movies as well. That's what I'm saying. That's where I saw them.
Yeah, I don't remember all that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure they are on Disney Plus, but yeah. But I'm just saying, like, outside of those shorts, I don't think that Disney or Pixar has been doing a consistent job of really promoting the Toy Story brand. I mean, there's Disneyland California, but that's really about it.
I don't think that's. Yeah, I doubt if that's as popular as it.
There was a Toy Story 3 video game that was really good. People liked that when it came out.
Right.
Toy Story was in Kingdom Hearts 3. So you got to see. So you got to see Woody and Buzz beat up a bunch of anime characters. That was a meme for a while. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious, actually. As a matter of fact, hold on, I gotta find the clip because it was funny. Woody Kingdom Hearts, because Woody is kind of like an old man, where he has no idea what's happening, and he's just sort of sick of everything. He's like, I'm tired of these people. It's hilarious because he just starts telling, because you know how the anime bat guy, he goes on this monologue about the darkness and I'll control the light, and Woody is like, listen, you clearly have no friends. Like straight up, like I don't care what you're talking about. Well, I think it's hilarious. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just seeing Woody tell off this generic anime villain is very cathartic. Hold on a second.
Whatever you're talking about, I don't care. Put Buzz back the way he was, then get lost.
Or else what, Toy?
Yeah, I am a toy. And a friend. My guess is no one's ever loved you before. Because you know nothing about hearts and love.
Yeah, Woody got bars. That's hilarious.
Honestly, they could have stopped it at "I don't care." No one's ever loved you before, and that would have been hilarious.
That's too funny. This
'Cause,
is
like-
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, this is Kingdom Hearts. Because
That's
like the whole time, because I don't know if you ever played Kingdom Hearts, but yeah, it's basically
No.
like these Final
All,
Fantasy
all I
characters.
know is what you and your brother tell me.
So basically, these Final Fantasy characters invade these Disney worlds as like different levels, and they gotta beat these demons up that invade the Disney worlds. And Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a bunch of Pixar stuff in it, and they obviously there's a Toy Story world, so Sora and Donald and Goofy, they shrink down to toy size in their toys. And they meet Woody and Buzz, and at some point Buzz gets kidnapped. And Woody the whole time is like, "What is happening? What is this? What is this nonsense? What is it? What's happening?"
That makes sense.
So at this point, he's just
Woody's
kind of
base, man. He's like,
he's just kind of sick of it.
don't
He's
make
like,
no sense.
yeah. So it was funny. But yeah, this where is it? This shot right here became a meme. it's just Woody.
Like, step back, young
I
one.
was like, all right, let's this guy.
Young man.
Yeah, exactly.
I got this.
Let me tell it like it is.
That's too funny. At least they stayed true to the character. Because that is definitely a Woody thing. That he would do that. He would respond like this. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, also, fun fact: this version of Woody is voiced by Tom Hanks' brother.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like him. So,
Well, yep.
Cool.
That's why it sounds like him.
yeah, pretty cool. I like that. Keep it in the family, huh?
Mhm.
Oh, but yeah, that's dope. But we'll see. I'm not. Toy Story. I mean, I love Toy Story. We all do. We're big fans, especially of the first couple movies, for sure. Even 3, like the way it ended when they were like about to get devoured by the incinerator or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, and 3 are it's like the perfect trilogy. They
Yeah,
didn't
it
need to-
is. That was great because when they were in that, I mean, I have to admit, I kind of forgot myself, and I'm like, "Yo, what's gonna happen?"
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like like, okay, these are the main characters; they're not gonna die, but you kind of it got me to a point where I actually just kind of dismissed that. Like didn't even. I'm just looking at like, yo, what's happening here? They started holding hands.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was like, bro, what is going to happen? So that was great. That was very satisfying. So that's what I'm saying. It's I think 3 is the magic number, like the song says, right?
Yep.
A trilogy that's all you need. You don't need 4, 5, and 6. With there's exceptions. I'm not sure. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like Fast and Furious, there's like 7 or 8 of those, right? Actually, there's like 10, right? And they're all of varying quality. Some like my favorite is 5. It's the first one in 5. Like those are my
Okay.
favorites. So everything else is kind of, even Tokyo Drift is okay. I like Tokyo Drift, but
Yeah.
but after like all the ones in between, they're watchable, they're fun, but they're not like memorable. And even the last one, I didn't finish watching it because it just bored me. That was the one with Jason Momoa. I think he was like,
Oh, okay.
was the bad guy. I was just like, even the last one with John Cena was kind of like, yeah. It's like, so yeah, they probably should have stopped it. I mean, at 5, in my opinion, because that's my favorite one. So, and that's when they first introduced The Rock into the series. So,
Oh, really?
but yeah, so it's I don't know. So yeah, you can do all these sequels and whatnot. But it seems like 3 is definitely like the sweet spot.
Well, it's beginning, middle, end. It's the proper story story setup.
Well, there's 3-act structure and there's 5-act structure. So, you can go up to 5, I guess, if you had to, if there's a story.
I mean, yeah, that's the key part, though. If there's a story,
Yeah. It's like I don't know. I wish they would actually like weigh the benefits of doing another. But I mean, because all they do it's just cash grab, right? Like they're not looking at it as an artistic. Because I heard they're also supposed to be doing another Incredibles, so there's going to be an Incredibles 3, and I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't think 2 should exist. To be, like 2 is okay. It's a good movie. It's not as good as 1, but it's still good. But
Well, if they do a 3, it should be about the kids.
yeah, I mean that would be. I mean that's kind of what they did with 2. Like they focused.
Not really. It was more about
especially in the third act.
It was more about Helen, which is fine.
Yeah, well, it was, but by the third act, it was the kids, and they rescued the parents. Remember, so
right, but they didn't really have a character. The character arc. They didn't really have a character arc.
Yeah, that's true. There wasn't a big arc for them. It was kind of like a lot of gags. Yeah. So I would like to see them age the kids up.
Yeah, I agree.
Full-blown adult superheroes, and they're just trying to like figure out their lives.
And there's some cool stuff that was in the Incredibles comics that they could pull from. I don't know if you ever read the Incredibles comics.
No, I haven't actually.
Unfortunately, it got canceled, which is crazy because I feel like the Incredibles universe is like perfect for like comic book material.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's a good point.
Essentially, like there's stuff like I remember the first issue I got. They were in like a henchman convention. It was like a job fair for henchmen, and one of the heroes that was murdered by Syndrome in the Omnidroid, where it was called.
Yeah.
They saved his brain in a jar because he was like super smart, and he ended up becoming a villain. But yeah, one of the heroes that was killed by the robot became like this brain in a jar, and so they were using like his knowledge and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of different crazy stuff. So I think, and on top of that, there's been a lot of growing. There's been sort of a resurgence of interest in the Incredibles because a lot of people are discovering the special features from the DVD for the first time, like the interviews and stuff like that. And the Project Kronos files. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and so they're like learning about all the other heroes from that era, like Gazer Beam and Gamma Jack and stuff like that. And learning like, oh, these like characters had real lore. They weren't just background characters, right? They were like fleshed out people. And it's pretty cool. So I think they could take advantage of that growing interest and really craft a story that really explores some of the other heroes. They could even do maybe a prequel that takes place in the 1960s, back in the heyday, right? Because I mean, I don't know if you've seen the stats, but Mr. Incredibles is essentially he's pretty busted in comparison to everybody else. Like the other superheroes had better powers in comparison to Mr. Incredibles, but
right.
Bob looked out. He's essentially the Thing with spider sense. So I don't know if so. One thing that was revealed in Syndrome's file was that Mr. Incredible had a danger sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
They show that in the movie. Yeah.
They did show it in the movie. They didn't tell you, but they did show it in the movie because he was always,
Well, when he ran into Bon Voyage.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I just assumed he heard the bomb. I didn't realize it was like a spider sense thing.
Yeah, it was the senses. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has essentially a spider sense, which is crazy because he's essentially Golden Age Superman with spider sense, right? Like he's strong, he jump high, he can't fly, he's got super strength, but he has spider sense. Right?
It's like the movie Unbreakable.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar powers, very strong, and he had this sense of danger.
Danger.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nuts. But yeah, so I think if they could make a movie and take advantage of the newfound hype for the Project Kronos stuff, I think they've got to really win. They've got to they're getting a free one basically. Like they gotta take advantage of it.
I mean, I agree. The question is, will they? They probably won't. As simple as that. Because this big corporation, they're not plugged in like they think they are.
I mean, sure. I mean, I don't think it's because it's a big corporate. I mean, obviously
It's,
there are.
it's because they just don't. They have blinders on.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying, like,
They
obviously
don't see
some
it.
companies treat their IPs better than others, right?
True. Yeah.
Like look at Sonic, right? The Sonic. I mean, the Sonic movies is proof of that.
Right. But why is that?
Well, because they listen to the fans.
Because they listen to the fans. And
But that's my
how
point.
did that happen?
Well, what happened after they got
yeah,
backlash?
You understand? They had no clue. They did what they did, and then the fans said, "That's garbage. We hate it. We're not going to see this movie." And that's when they backpedal. Oh, let's fix it, right? Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. That's a snapshot of Disney, of Warner Brothers. You go on and on. Paramount, all of them. They have no idea. They are morons. They don't know until you smack them in the face. Then they go, "Oh, okay, I see." Right? That's all it is. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think, if they are aware of this resurgence, they don't get it. Right? They won't get it until someone says money. Right? Oh, you can make money from this somehow. Right? But they're not gonna just follow these trends, these natural trends. Right? They're gonna try and create their own trends. And that's the problem. They try to create their own trends. They try to manipulate social media rather than observing it. That's why there's bots and all out there. That's like, oh, I love this stuff. And it's like, no, you don't. You're not even a real person.
Well, it reminds me of and I'll say this before we have to close up, but it reminds me of when Elemental came out. I don't know if you remember Elemental. That's right, he dodged the punches.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you remember, Elemental. Do you remember that movie?
Elemental, no.
Okay, don't worry about it. It was a bad movie, but it was a Pixar movie, and
I do remember now. Yeah.
What's ironic is that they made this social media post where they showed a clip of the movie in theaters, and they added like a fake audience reaction, and they posted it online to try to build hype for the movie.
Yeah.
And obviously that completely backfired because nobody went to see the movie.
Right, because people realized it was fake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. It's like somebody, no doubt, saw it, posted, and said, "This is fake," and people saw it, and they're like, "Yeah, this is fake. I'm not going to manipulate me." Right? Even if those that didn't show up didn't know it was fake, the trailer alone wasn't enough to get them to show up. It's a weak trailer. It looks like a terrible story. And then and the timing of it, even if it's not a quote unquote woke story, right? The timing was bad because they've already lost good faith in the audience, right? So the audience is like, you're not gonna trick me again. And that's part of the problem too. It's like some of this stuff probably is objectively good, but they've already burned bridges.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is it? Fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? So
yeah.
So a lot of the audience is kind of like, yeah, you're not gonna trick me again. Just like recently with Snoop Dogg, right? He took his kid. He admitted taking his kid to see Lightyear, and being kind of caught off guard because of the lesbian, having a couple having a baby or whatever, right? And his grandson's like, wait a minute, right? Started asking questions like, how is this possible? And he's just like, I don't know what to say, right? And it's like, yeah, that's probably just multiply that times 100 or 1,000, right? Like a lot of people were probably caught off guard, bringing their kids to see Lightyear, in the wake of Toy Story 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And boom, lesbians with babies, right? It's like, what are you doing, man? It's like, I don't want to have to explain this. Even if someone is favorable to LGBTQ whatever issues, right? Like they're an ally, as they call it, right? They're probably still thinking, yeah, but I don't want this like thrown in, and I don't know that it's there. I can't get in front of it, to explain it to my kid. Like the kids are like, "Mom, or Dad, what's going on with this?" Right? Like, and that's what happened to him, right? So he was just being honest. Like, yeah, I was caught off guard. I didn't know what to say. It's like I didn't come to the movie to explain the sexual dynamics of lesbians. Like that's not why I came to the movie. I came to the movie just to be entertained. And that's the problem, and that ends up creating a lot of bad faith with the audience. And then the consequence is, well, they're not going to go see the next movie, right? Even if it is objectively good. And I say let them reap the whirlwind.
Yeah.
More, like seriously, I hope Disney ends up crashing and burning and selling off bits and pieces of its company. And Warner Brothers too. They're already, I think, doing that. They're selling off the comics division, I believe. I think that's at least rumored. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I hope so. And hopefully
we'll see what happens.
It'll land in the hands of people that have common sense. That's really all we need is people with basic common sense to handle these properties. And guess what? They'll do better. Right. So that's really it.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. So but that's all I have for today. We thank you guys for joining us once again and checking us out. We appreciate your time and your interest and your support. And we ask that you go to our site if you haven't gone already. Check out our email list, sign up for it, and get a free digital comic on us. And we hope you enjoy it. And feel free to give us feedback, even if it's not through the Global Comics interface. You can go to X, follow the Alphatron or Rocket Brown, and just let us know through there. Send us a message there. That's fine. We appreciate your support, and we do have a campaign coming up. The goal is to launch this month. So we'll see. We haven't set a date yet, but join the email list and stay notified, and we'll keep you informed and let you know when that campaign will start. We've got a great story brewing up. We're working with the artist. He's giving us thumbnails for the pages, and it's going to be great. So check us out, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys, and have a super galactic Saturday.
We'll see you around.